Good evening and welcome. This is the August 13th, 2025 public hearing of the Land Use Commission. The City Code directs this body to hear applications for map and text amendments, special uses, including plan development, zoning relief, and appeals from decisions of the zoning administrator, as well as to make recommendations regarding the city's long-term planning goals and objectives. Depending on the type of matter, this commission will either make a final determination or send its recommendation to City Council. Ms. Jones, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Aravallo,
Here.
Commissioner Berlin, Commissioner Harris-Ferry,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Mabadi,
Here.
Commissioner Mangum, Commissioner Mudinchev, Commissioner Patel,
Here.
and Chair Lindwall.
Here. With 5 members present, we have a quorum. Also present tonight from city staff, our neighborhood and land use planner, Megan Jones, development services supervisor, Jeremiah Bebo, planning manager, Liz Williams, and assistant city attorney, Brian George. This is a formal hearing and there are rules that govern our proceedings. Most importantly, only one person speaks at a time so that all testimony may be accurately recorded. Anyone who wishes to address the commission regarding any matter on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so at the appropriate time. Our procedure is to hear from staff on the documents on file and then receive testimony and other evidence from the applicant or appellant. The applicant is asked to limit the presentation to 20 minutes. Following the applicant's presentation, commissioners may ask questions about the proposal and the standards for approval. The applicant will be given the opportunity to respond to commissioner questions. After that, persons wishing to make a statement regarding the matter will have a chance to do so. Any person with a legal interest in the property located within defined notification requirements of the subject property may present evidence, reasonably question witnesses, or seek a continuance of the hearing. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The applicant will be given the opportunity to respond to questions. When all supporting and opposing testimony and statements have been heard, the applicant or appellant will be given the opportunity for rebuttal or a closing statement. Then the commission will close the record and begin deliberations to consider the standards. The commission will make formal findings of fact based on the testimony, evidence, and evidence presented, guided by the standards, the commissioner's knowledge of our community, and recommendations of staff. All testimony is taken under oath. Although we do not apply the strict rules of evidence, please limit your testimony to the proposal as it relates to the standards contained in the zoning ordinance and corresponding staff memorandum. When testifying, please state your name and address for the record and sign in on the provided public comment sheet. If you have materials that you wish to present to the commissioners, please provide them to staff for distribution. Our meetings are audio and video recorded. Please make sure you are at a microphone when asking questions or making statements so that you can be properly recorded. All proceedings are subject to broadcast at a later date. Any matter not concluded at tonight's hearing will be continued to our next regularly scheduled meeting. There are 2 items on our agenda. There was a third that where the application was withdrawn. So we have the plan development 601 and 03 and 605 to 15 Davis and 1604 to 1608 Chicago Avenue. Is the applicant present for that? Thank you. And then the second case we will be hearing tonight is a special use at 1702 Sherman Avenue. Is the applicant present for that? Okay, great. Thank you. If you plan on speaking on a matter before the commission tonight, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth throughout the course of these proceedings? Okay, thank you. Okay, the first item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from July 23rd. May I have a motion, I guess, actually?
Oh, go ahead.
I move that we accept the minutes from the July 23rd meeting.
I think, since I'm the only other
Second.
one. Okay, thank you. Discussion or corrections? I have actually a couple. First, I think on page 5 and the top of page 6, there's the motion and the vote on the request for continuances. I think that's just in the wrong spot. It should probably be moved to page 8. And the next one is kind of midway down page 6. It's talking about the parking analysis, and it should be, Mr. Dixon stated it should be T.Y. Lin parking study was more targeted to downtown development. So that's just a correction in the name of the firm. And then finally, on the top of page 8, I propose continuing the meeting to August 13th to allow speakers who requested the continuances to be presented, to be present. I think I would strike the word absent because I think some people were there at the meeting and requested continuances. So with those edits, I guess we can take a voice vote, and aye.
Aye.
And abstaining, I think we have,
Abstain.
I'll abstain.
okay. All right. Moving on to.
Chair,
Yes.
Chair, just to recognize, it looks like you only have 2 votes in the affirmative and the rest are abstaining, so I don't know if we can approve the minutes
Okay, should we
tonight.
hold the minutes?
Yeah, they'll be on the next agenda.
Okay.
Thanks.
And I guess I would ask that the corrections that I noted be included
Absolutely.
in the draft.
Yep.
And then we'll try again at the next meeting.
Sounds good.
All right. I guess the next thing is to reopen the 605 Davis public hearing. I don't need a motion for that, do I? I don't believe. Okay. But I do have a statement. At our July 23rd meeting, the applicant presented his project. Commissioners present asked questions of the applicant. Public testimony was heard. Requests for continuances were received, and the LUC voted to continue the hearing to this evening, with testimony limited to those individuals whose continuances were granted. There was confusion at the July 23rd meeting as to whether continuance requests needed to include a specific reason, and as a result, only the 5 requests that included a specific topic were granted. Staff and the law department have researched this further, and as a result of the inconsistency between the LUC rules and the zoning ordinance, and determined that the 6 continuance requests that did not include a specific reason for the request should have been granted since they came from property owners within the notice area. I'd like to apologize both to the applicant and to the members of the public for the situation, but I believe it's important that we rectify this error as expeditiously as possible. And just kind of to remind what the rules are, because they're a little different. Property owners within the notice boundary are automatically granted 1 continuance per written request without a reason being required. There's also kind of a second category, essentially, non-property owner residents and businesses. I know there's a specific legal term for those parties. They may also request a continuance. The request must be in writing and include a specific reason for the continuance. And in this instance, the LUC has the ability to vote as to whether or not to grant the continuance. The additional property owners who should have been granted continuances were notified on Monday that they would be permitted to speak this evening. I understand that at least one of these individuals indicated to staff that they would need or would like additional time to prepare their testimony. And, as a result, staff is recommending that the public hearing be continued to our August 27th meeting to accommodate this request. Rather than hear from a few people tonight and the remainder on August 27th, the applicant has also requested that the entire hearing be continued to August 27th. I believe this request makes a lot of sense, both in terms of the continuity of the proceeding and the fact that two of the LUC commissioners who were present on July 23rd were unable to attend this evening. And I believe staff is also supporting of this request. And I just kind of want to go through what the procedure will be on the 27th. And reminder, public testimony is closed except for the interested parties who have been granted continuances. So we're not going to be taking public testimony from other members of the community, although as per our standard practice, written material will be received and distributed to us in our packets. So, and then individuals who are granted a continuance will have up to 5 minutes to present their testimony and evidence. If one of the people requesting the continuance has an expert witness that they want to have speak as well, it will be, I may allow an additional 5 minutes to hear from that expert witness. After that, the applicant will have an opportunity to ask questions or cross-examine the witness. And then following that, members of the LUC may ask clarifying questions. After all the individuals who have requested continuances are heard, the applicant will be given up to 20 minutes for a closing statement or rebuttal. The public testimony record will then be closed and the Land Use Commission will begin its deliberations. At this point, we anticipate that will all occur on August 27th, and our recommendation, our deliberations would be completed that evening. If a person who is granted a continuance is unable to attend the August 27th continued hearing, they may submit their evidence and testimony in writing, and it will be distributed to the Land Use Commission. And if that is the case, we ask that the presenter coordinate with staff to make sure that those materials can make it into our packet. Commissioners who are absent from the July 23rd meeting should plan to watch the video recording of that meeting and review the documents and testimony previously presented prior to our deliberations on August 27th if they have not already done so. I'd also like to remind the members of the public that it is inappropriate to contact land use commissioners individually regarding this or any other case. We do our deliberations in public and hear testimony, and so please respect our role and the position we're in by not trying to reach out and discuss any case with us individually. I think with that, I guess there's, Liz, do you have anything else to add, or is there discussion on the part of the commissioners about what's being suggested and why? And again, I apologize that there was confusion.
I don't have anything further to clarify. I think I heard you say that commissioners that weren't here on the 23rd need to review that material, and that is common practice here with the commission. But yeah, and the applicant is here if there's any questions. I think the next step would just be a motion to entertain their continuance request to the 27th.
Okay, with that, I'd like to move to continue the case of 605 Davis, case 25 PL ND-0019 to August 27th.
Second from someone?
I second.
Okay, I think probably a roll call.
Commissioner Aravallo,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris-Hurry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mabadi,
Yes.
Commissioner Pucktell,
Yes.
and Chair Lindwall.
Yes. Okay, with that, the 605 Davis is continued to August 27th, and as you said, we expect to conclude the hearing at that time, if at all possible. Thank you. Okay. I'll give everybody a few minutes. Okay, I think with that, the next case on our agenda is special use. It's 1702 Sherman Avenue, 25 ZMJB-0027. So whose case is this? Do you want to read it into the record? Or actually, first, let me officially open the public hearing. I think I'm supposed to do that first. Now you can read it into the record.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm so sorry. Linguine Nutriel, the applicant requests a special use for a mixed-use establishment to include religious institutions and banquet hall uses, Sozo City Church in the D2 Downtown Retail Core District, out of Section 6-11-3-4. The Land Use Commission makes a recommendation to the City Council, which is the determining body for this case, and in accordance with Section 635 of the Evanston Zoning Code.
Next up on the hearing process is, would the applicant like to present the project?
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the Commission for your time this evening. I'll endeavour to keep it as clear and concise as I can tonight, so don't keep us longer here than we need to be. My name is Lungile Ntintili on behalf of Sozo City Church, seeking special use for a religious institution and banquet hall at 1702 Sherman Avenue. We have been hosting services as a church at the Music Institute on Chicago Avenue for just shy of the last 2 years. And we are greatly looking forward to an opportunity to create a community-centered hub in downtown Evanston for both our church and the city. We have taken a great deal of care to design our operations as a church to align with Evanston's comprehensive planning and zoning goals. Bringing consistent family-friendly, which some of our church family are here this evening, consistent family-friendly foot traffic to downtown and to support nearby restaurants and shops. As a religious institution, we would look to host worship services in a newly redesigned multi-purpose auditorium with services taking place on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., with anywhere between 35 to 70 people attending. Made up of largely young families with a median age of 37, Northwestern students, working professionals, and families with teenagers and or other older children. We would also host other community gatherings 2 to 3 times a week at various times during the week. One of the other things is the Music Institute operated at this property as a cultural facility, and we would continue to operate this property as a cultural facility as well, with hopes to play our part in downtown Evanston's continued efforts to create spaces for the arts in downtown Evanston. Regarding this space, we would rent it out to local theatre performances and other nonprofits and recitals. As a banquet hall, we would also look to host and rent out the space for a variety of functions and events in a newly designed event space for the Evanston community. We would host art exhibitions, studio rentals, rehearsal spaces, luncheons, network events, chamber events, and performances and the like. From this property's previous use as both a religious institution, which I believe was the Evanston Bible Fellowship, and as a cultural facility under the Music Institute, the property has sufficient sprinkler and suppression systems, has the appropriate egress and accessible doors, emergency lighting, and more than adequate soundproofing, especially with it being in the basement level. To satisfy the off-street parking requirement that was triggered by the change in use, we will be directing our congregants to park in the free city-owned parking garage, which is half a block south of the current property, at the Sherman Plaza garage. And to further satisfy the requirement, we will also adopt an updated parking implementation plan, which was enacted by the previous church at this facility, which has been provided to the Commission. I believe that's in Ordinance 90-097 as an attachment. That concludes our presentation for this evening. And again, I thank you for your time and your consideration of our special use application.
Okay. Questions from commissioners?
Yes, I'm actually trying to figure out which space you're using. Is it the Marshall Fields building, the ground level Panera space, old Panera space?
The basement space.
The basement
The
space.
basement space. Where Music Institute used to be. So they had a theater there.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions? I just have one. The condition that is included in the packet calls for a lease agreement. And I don't know if, the way it's worded, and I guess this is really kind of a question for staff as to can that be in the city garage? How does that work? Because I saw the parking management agreement, and I thought that was appropriate. But I want to make sure that that you're comfortable and we're meeting the zoning requirements.
Yeah.
Since obviously parking is free on Sunday.
Yeah.
There's two regulations that are kind of a little bit in conflict with each other. It's 6-1614, and it's the last sentence that says the exemption shall be applied to the lease generating use on the lot. So it's a mixed use building, right? And so you have to take into consideration the different uses on the lot. And that exemption in that provision shall be applied to the lease generating use. But then you have the provision of 6-1612, which is that provision that only requires increases in residential densities or a change in use to religious institutions, and the two kind of conflict with one another because 6-1612 kind of anticipates that a religious institution is going to be a higher, if not one of the highest generating uses. And what I can say is before the city council hearing, staff, we can look into this a little bit closer, and I can potentially look for any precedent too. But as the condition is written, it would be required to have a formal lease executed in order to meet that condition.
Yes, so we contacted the Sherman Plaza garage requesting an agreement be put together for a lease. They said at this stage they don't have the infrastructure because on Sundays parking is free. and they haven't got an arrangement for like that right now. And I did push a little bit more to go, if I needed one to fulfill the city's requirements, she said they'd have to get back with me to see if they can arrange that, because there's no current infrastructure that exists for a Sunday-only lease agreement for us to acquire the parking spaces. So we can circle back with the city and see what they can put together for us.
Okay, and I think we ought to look at wording this condition so that it addresses that situation. So maybe it's, a copy of the lease agreement or other appropriate something. Well, we can get into that when we're deliberating, because it's not really appropriate for me to be doing that right now, but we'll get there soon. Any other commissioner questions on this? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, do we have any members of the public that wish to provide testimony on this issue? I don't have anybody on my sign-up sheet, but, okay. I guess no one. Hearing none, you can provide a closing statement if you'd like, or, okay. In that case, I'm going to close the record for public testimony. And at this point, we have general discussion, commission deliberations. Thoughts? Commissioner Mabadi.
Yeah, that's a tough space. So if somebody wants to do something creative, and I think it'd be great. I mean, and I think having families down in downtown Evanston is, particularly on that segment of Sherman Avenue, would be perfect for making that neighborhood a little bit more family-oriented, because there's a lot of stuff going on that block over the years that more families would be better for that block. And I think that we're seeing a lot of positive change there with the restaurant scene and Varsity Theater, old Varsity Theater apartments. So yeah, I'd support this.
Okay. All right. I think as I indicated, my only, concern is to make sure that when we get to the condition, the conditions for the special use, that number 2 be worded a little bit differently so that we can, so it's maybe like a copy of a lease agreement or other appropriate documentation. Maybe other appropriate agreement. On page 4 of 5, there's the department recommendation, and there are 3. So after staff review, so it's page 279 of 320, if that helps.
I got 321.
It's page 279 globally.
I see, I got it.
Yeah.
So you're talking about number 2 then?
Yes.
So I don't know if it was discussed, but I did look up the Galleria for the residential units has parking. So when we were talking about having appropriate parking that would be related to that building, there is already, I don't know if that's been taken into consideration, but there is parking.
Helpful in our analysis. So we'll double check on that after this hearing and look into that. And that could be a means by way we can make an interpretation to which by then they wouldn't need to.
If you guys need specifics on that, you just let me know. I can dig up the data on that
Yeah,
building.
I believe it's a condo building, so I don't know if they're deeded or
Yep. Good point. Good point.
those.
Either way,
but-
it's parking, but that's, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that since it is Sunday and parking is free, I think, the intent is not to make this more difficult. But we also, don't want to have you have to go through additional zoning approvals either. So I think that would be my concern there.
Chair Lindell?
Yes.
But since we're not the final body to approve anything, would this notation, I guess, in the wording, would that stop us from making a recommendation, positive recommendation to City Council? Or is that just, it would be a condition to present to City Council?
Yeah, my suggestion is that, because these are essentially conditions that would be attached to our recommendations. So I just want to make sure that number 2 is worded in a way that is flexible enough that, there's not an issue when it does get to the City Council. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to, and if staff can suggest, if that language works, I think that would, or if there's other language that would work better.
Yeah, I think staff would be comfortable with condition 2 being amended to basically after it says a lease agreement or other instrument shall be provided to the city prior to approving a building permit.
Okay, with that, I need to go through the standards for approval. And with regard to a special use, there are 9 standards that must be met. And I will go through them. I'll read what's in the memo. It is one of the special uses specifically listed in the zoning ordinance. Yes, it is. That standard is met. It is in keeping with the purposes and policies of the adopted comprehensive general plan and zoning ordinance as amended from time to time. I believe this standard is also met, especially in terms of bringing families and other people into the downtown for activities at the site, but hopefully they'll do other things in downtown as well. Will not cause a negative cumulative effect when its effect is considered in conjunction with a cumulative effect of various special uses of all types on the immediate neighborhood and the effect of the proposed type of special use upon the city as a whole. I believe the standard is met. We're looking to encourage more people downtown, which would be a positive impact. Also, I would note that this particular space has served as a religious institution in a prior life. So I think that standard is met. Number 4, it does not interfere, diminish, or diminish the value of property in the neighborhood. There's no evidence that would be the case. It's really, making productive use of I believe it's currently vacant site. It can be adequately served by public facilities and services. This standard is met, this tenant space has been occupied before, and so I don't anticipate anything new. It does not cause undue traffic congestion. There's no evidence that's been presented to suggest that would be the case. The downtown encourages a variety of uses. People come and go for all sorts of different reasons. It preserves significant historical and architectural resources is number 7. I don't recall if this is a landmark building or not. I think it may be, but in any event, it makes use of an existing, at least if not a landmark building, it's certainly a contributing building within the downtown and part of the downtown fabric. It preserves significant natural and environmental features, which is not applicable. And it complies with all other applicable regulations of the district in which it is located and other applicable ordinances, except to the extent such regulations have been modified through the plan development process or the grant of a variation. This is just a special use request, so as it stands, this is not a plan development, nor are any variances being requested, so this standard is met. Is there agreement with my findings? Okay. And now I guess what we need is a motion and a vote.
I'll make a motion I'd like to move that in the case of 1702 Sherman Avenue, number 25 ZMJV-0027, that we recommend approval of the special use as described in the packet, along with the department recommendations described on page 279, with the one modification that the last sentence in number 2 will say, a copy of a lease agreement or other instrument shall be provided to the city prior to approving a building permit.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Aravallo,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris Ferry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mabadi,
Yes.
Commissioner Pucktall,
Yes.
Chair Lindwall.
Yes. Okay, with 5 voting in favor and none against, the positive recommendation for the special use is approved and will be sent to the city council, and you can work with staff on getting all the details that in place. So good luck with your project. Okay, with that, the last item on our agenda is public comment. And I have 3 people that signed up, although I believe they're all for 605 Davis. Alf McConnell, Scott Roberts, Dr. Altman. Okay. And I guess, is anyone else wish to address the commission on anything? All right. Hearing none, I guess we're ready for a motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.